And please, one more house rule. I don't want to kick anybody out. Do not unmute your device unless you are asked to do so, please.
So it should be on mute always, is that correct?
Well,
until you ask.
Only for speaker, exactly.
Okay,
until you are advised to. Everyone on mute until you are advised to. So I would quickly, as I said before, everyone is going to be muted. Prof, you are also muted. Now, Prof, if you can unmute yourself, what is going to happen now is I will give you the chance to take the floor. What has happened here is that the reason why we've basically called this meeting, and I must say, and I must give a very big thanks to the three key speakers. We will have other people to probably put some points across. First of all, Chief Femi Kayode, the former Minister of Aviation, I will say thank you very much for quickly joining this conversation. At the same time, I'm thanking Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, the leader, indigenous people of Biafra, for joining this conversation. Professor Femi Olufunmilade, Director, Buratai Center for Contemporary Security Affairs, Ibunedio University, Okada, Edo State, Nigeria, who also was the APC Presidential Campaign Council of the ruling party between 2015 and now. So I would start by saying, Professor, can you now take the floor? Prof, are you here?
Yes, I'm here, Mercy. Thank you for having me here. I think the focus of this discourse is on the EndSARS protest, if I'm correct.
Yes, the focus of this is solely on the EndSARS movement. I chose my term carefully here to say this is a movement. Now, the reason why we all gathered here is there is a dimension that has started evolving in the last couple of hours, where whoever that is trying to make this movement an ethnic movement. And we are here to say this is not an ethnic protest or movement. That we are here to say stop the propaganda to make it one, because that is not what it is. On that note, as I spoke to you on the phone, you now have the floor to make your presentation, Professor.
Okay, thank you very much, Mazi. Let me just make a little clarification in your introduction. I was a member of the Buhari Presidential Campaign Council 2015 and 2019, and even in 2011. And that was because of one's belief that based on his antecedents, that is one person that will do this country proud, being a man of discipline, a man of integrity. But I think the recent developments have proved us to be grossly wrong in our thinking. But that is by the way. The protests that are on, by any stretch of the imagination, cannot be described as an ethnic protest. This is a protest started by youths across the ethnic and religious divides who have been at the receiving end of police brutality in Nigeria, particularly in the southern part of the country. And those kids on the street, so well organized that I would say anywhere that they organize the best and most sophisticated protest in the history of this world. The way they organized themselves in terms of conducting themselves before the security personnel, the way they took care of those who needed food or who needed drink. When you are standing there in the sun, in the rain, from throughout, round the clock, you will need to refresh yourself. They made that available. Those who are brutalized, rescue, treatment, arrangements were excellent. A lot of them had PhD holders, some of them have masters, some of them are medical doctors, lawyers, engineers. They are people that understood what the stakes are, and they cut across all the ethnic divides. So nobody can come and tell us that it was an ethnic affair, or that it was the Igbos propelling it, or it was the Yorubas that were propelling it, or that a disgruntled politician called Tinubu was behind it, or anybody. These kids knew what they wanted. And what led them to that was clear. They cannot move around with a common device, a smartphone. Police will start opening their phones and then asking them to take them to the ATM. They could not move around with tablets. They could not move around with laptops. And it afflicted all of them, regardless of where they come from. So it wasn't an ethnic thing. But along the line, I observed that the powers that be were trying to divide them, and a lot of mischievous write-ups started surfacing on the internet. For example, they say, oh, you Yoruba, look at where this protest took place. The preponderance of the protest is in your area. Nothing is happening in Aba. Nothing is happening in Owerri, which is a lie. Look at miscreants. Those are sponsored people, though. They attacked this newspaper. They attacked that hotel. But go to Aba, go to Nnewi, nothing is happening. You should know that when you have a formidable movement, the establishment that you are fighting will not rest on its words. They are not going to sit by, because they know that you are trying to wrestle power out of their hands indirectly, because it will get to a point where something will have to give. So for that reason, they are not going to sit folding their hands. Didn't you see numerous footages making the rounds of people that look like security operatives dropping miscreants, holding machetes, holding sticks in strategic places to attack these same protesters? So please don't let us give this any form of, attach any form of seriousness to it at all. It was the establishment side of things to inject a kind of divide and rule propaganda, so that those who are protesting as brothers and sisters can then turn against themselves. Those who started this protest never started in a violent manner. But the miscreants that they were bringing, being sponsored, being given 1,500 naira, from the people that seems to belong to a particular ethnic coloration, which began in Abuja, that were being brought to destroy cars, to machete girls. That was the ethnic angle to it. When they went to sponsor some miscreants in Abuja, they said they are the indigenous people of Abuja. These are people that don't even have a minister in the National Assembly, which is something they should be focusing, which have been fighting for, that they deserve it, that the federal government took their land to form a federal capital territory, doesn't mean that they should not have due representation. Instead of focusing that, they said they don't want anybody to come and protest on their land. Which land? So those are the ethnic dimension to this protest is purely the handiwork of the establishment.